Hey everybody, it's Pete. We got a lot on the plate today. Welcome to a new episode of today's Best Stock Picks. We have post FOMC trading, which typically is a really good trend day. If you go back to June 11th, after the, I guess, surprise announcement that nobody expected after hitting new highs, bam, monster gap down, monster trend day to the downside, and we've been calling it all week. After the FOMC announcement is usually good trading. And so far, everything is lining up for today and tomorrow to be just an amazing active trading day. These are the 2 days where we've been waiting for, really, with the market just kind of hesitating up till here. The announcements out of the way, and we have some really big earnings. We have initial claims as well. We have GDP today, but let's just start on the earnings that we've already had that we've been playing. AMD obviously has been on fire. TSM, if you didn't get involved in that yesterday, we called that. I hope you got involved. It was probably the easiest trade of the day yesterday. Obviously, Kodak was volatile. Whether you should have traded it or not, I don't know. It was halted 4 times, got almost a 50% haircut at one point during the day. It was pretty wild. But I want to talk about something I'd like to invite you to today. If you're an active trader and you want to learn exactly a lot more detail about what I do, and specifically order flow and tape reading, I'm hosting a live presentation tonight at 7 o'clock, Thursday, July 30th, 7 o'clock Eastern time. So just click the link below down in the description. I'd absolutely love to have you there because we can interact a little bit more than we can in these videos. But again, we mentioned initial claims. We went GDP, Procter & Gamble, MasterCard, Comcast, Eli Lilly, and AstraZeneca before the market opens today. After the market opens, we have Apple, Amazon, Google, and Facebook scheduled. This is when you want to be a trader. We've been patient, picking like a sniper, getting some opportunity. And now today, and probably into tomorrow, but today especially with all this stuff that's going on, we have an opportunity to see the volume come back in today. The news, for the most part, from the Fed is out of the way, at least now, until the next meeting. But again, if history tells us anything, last time, the day after the Fed announcement is a really good day to trade. If we're lucky, we'll get 2 really good days of volume. If you're watching the SPY, we've had really light volume heading into most of the week. I think it was a lot of indecision. Haven't really sold off until yesterday. A couple of times we actually rallied, sold off, and now we're actually trading the futures at this moment are down 34 points, the S&P futures. So it's going to be volatile. And if you understand what you're doing, if you have the right trades, which, gosh, I was so proud of everybody in our community yesterday because there was a lot to look at yesterday, and we were in the right stocks. That's where trading becomes a lot less stressful when you have all of these potential ideas that you could be looking at. And I just kept saying over and over again, because we have our game plan meeting early in the morning, and then when you go into the day, you have your ideas, and if you're hyper focused on what you believe are your best trades, the ones that have the best order flow, the most obvious order flow, the trades that have room to go, profit potential, and you learn how to time your entries properly, that's where trading is no longer overwhelming. It's actually pretty easy. At that point, you just need to learn how to manage your winners and make sure that your losers stay small, and that's the math that makes trading profitable. So what we're going to do now is obviously we're going to start out with Apple. That's the big one. That's the trade of the day. We're going to get into Facebook a little bit because that's a reasonably priced stock that a lot of people trade. Facebook's been an absolute mess, and you'll see what I mean by that on the daily chart. And again, hopefully like that, you'll be able to spot what I mean like that on future charts. And again, please, if you have time tonight, 7 o'clock tonight Eastern time, click down, grab the link, register for tonight's live training. Absolutely will be worth it. So anyway, with Apple, the longer-term trend in Apple obviously clearly is bullish, but again, I keep mentioning this where the story is still good until here. 2 weeks ago, the story in Apple changed dramatically, whether or not it's the U.S.-China tensions, whether it's just profit-taking at this point. But we went from clearly obvious on the weekly chart to indecision, which I'm going to show you that on the Facebook chart as well, to well-offered to massive indecision, showing an inside candlestick. So the longer-term picture in Apple is still bullish. I mean, we're close to all-time highs. You can't say it's changed. However, this 3-day trading range right now, where the obviousness of the buying is not there. In other words, when there's good opportunity and the order flow is obvious and the volume is still there. You can buy dips, buy breakouts, they follow through. We're not seeing that right now. As a matter of fact, quite often during the day, we're watching and Apple's trading below the opening price, near the lows, and has these afternoon rallies that make it look like it was really strong, but the predominant part of the day where the most volume was there, just really was mostly selling. So the point that I want to get across is setting up the trade in Apple. That's really what's important. For me right now, it's obviously trading a little bit lower right now. For me to want to start initiating a new position, it needs to stay above 380, which is basically where it traded yesterday, because I was long the stock last week and it sold off a little bit on me, worked the order and pulled it. But when you're watching the tape and you're reading it, that 380 level to me is the big one. Obviously, if we can hold 380, then the next run, the bullish run, if the earnings come out and the guidance is good, then we're looking at running at all-time high. So here's the trade for me. If it's below 380, I'm leaving it alone. Above 380, I'm going to start working a position, looking for a new swing trade to punch through those levels. Facebook, again, I just can't express this enough. This stock has just traded into a massive indecision for the last 2 months. We're basically talking all the way back even into May. Look at all of the indecision candles. Now, we had 240 as a level, and we believed that once it got above 240, it stayed there. We were going to get another nice run like this, but we didn't. And you can see it's opening and closing for the most part in the same spot. Tiny candlesticks, the bodies of the candlesticks, and we're also seeing lighter volume. There's no trade here. Really, the only thing I can tell you right now is there's no trade. It's not a short sale. Again, same scenario as Apple. You can't justify a short sale on a stock that's near all-time highs, but above 240 is where the trade is. It needs to stay there. And again, I'm not guessing. This is the part of where you separate yourself from somebody who's an amateur to somebody who actually is taking money out of the market. That's what you should aspire to be. It keeps failing at 240. Why would you get involved in front of 240 if it keeps failing there? The sellers keep coming in at that price. Maybe today's earnings will change that. If it gets above there, it gets above there with volume. It stays there for at least one day. We can look at a new swing trade above that level, maybe even a position trade from one quarter to the next. That's the level I'm watching there. Until it gets through that level, I'm not doing anything. Kodak, obviously, if you don't know what we're talking about, 2 days ago, the stock closed at $2.09, somewhere around that area. Yesterday, it literally did trade all the way up there, just to give you an idea of what yesterday's trading looked like. And again, this is something similar to what I've been mentioning all the time in the COVID stocks, which everybody can't wait to jump in. I'm day trading them. I'm not swing trading them. And you can see here why. Although this is a day trading opportunity, this stock got halted multiple times yesterday. News can change like that. Ideas can change like that. You need to be able to have sufficient risk capital to trade something like this, and you need to be able to make fast decisions. If you have both of those things, obviously it's a stock to take a look at. But again, only you could make that. I had people asking me who were new into the boot camp yesterday, should I trade it? And I said, look, this stock is a different animal right now, and if you're brand new to the market, quite honestly, I would not be getting involved there. It's exciting. You could make a lot of money and lose a lot of money, and you could very quickly. And I'm speaking to somebody who's inexperienced, and thankfully some of the newer traders listened. And despite the fact that they had this thing run up, it kept getting halted. God forbid you bought at 59, and after the halt, it opens up down at 33. You wipe out your account in one trade. So you have to decide what kind of experience you have and how good of a trader you are. However, there are some other opportunities today that are lining up. The stock run was very bullish, and you can see here the amount of days it closed above the open, how green it was, getting a little bit of profit taking today. I am actually hoping for a lower opening in this stock to bid, and preferably around the previous day's low, right around the 38 area. Looks like it's actually bid a little bit higher. Excuse me, not 38, 36. Right around 36. It looks like it's actually higher today. So if it opens higher, I'm still going to wait for the first push lower to look for a spot to bid. Something that if you actually happen to be day trading right now, a lot of really old school technical analysis has been producing some amazing trades, which is nothing more than buying a double bottom. A lot of the stocks that we're looking at have been opening here, pushing lower, retesting where they came from, going down to new lows, having this amazing double bottom, and that's been launching a lot of good intraday opportunities. So if you happen to be day trading now, keep an eye on that. TSM, as I mentioned, is a sympathy play with AMD. Again, if you weren't day trading it yesterday, this is what the stock looked like yesterday. I'm not sure we could have gotten an easier trade yesterday. AMD obviously had the blowout earnings, and once it exploded through 57 a couple of days ago, over here, which again, go back to the videos, we had that call there. It's been a relatively easy relatively easy trade to identify. It's really just a question of fine tuning your entries. I still like it long, but this is one of those scenarios where I'm mentioning again, I like it long, but I'm not swing trading. It's hard for me to justify saying I think the stock is going to be higher 3 to 5 days from now after how much it's exploded. I would love to see another move like this where it pauses a couple of days and then look to take off. Shop, actually, all-time highs failed yesterday, but again, any stock that's trading at or near all-time highs, you have to still continue to look. But the thing here is you got to stay out of trouble. This is where if you're a day trader especially, start to look for the hourly chart to show some signs of confirmation, then go down to the shorter time frames and time your entries. If you're a swing trader, you really need the stock to pull back a little bit. When the stock goes from 880 to 1120, you need to let the stock breathe a little bit. I was hoping that this level where it broke out was going to be the spot, but it looks like it's actually opening right there. So yesterday's low and this breakout level, and just for me to drive that home a little bit more, right here, that's where we're going to be looking. So yesterday's low in shop will be where we're going to take a look. Abbott Labs has been getting a lot of news lately about the quicker COVID tests. So it's got some attention, and we talk about that a lot. When a stock has an attention, that's when you're going to get volume. That's when you're going to get volatility. Keep an eye on this one. Obviously, the breakout, let's go back a little further. So you see you got some room to go here, right? Yesterday was a really solid day. It looks like it's going to open flat to a little bit higher today. As long as it's above yesterday's close and today's open, I'm going to be looking at as a trade in there. A couple of stocks that broke out to 20-day highs and actually held there yesterday. CTSH is one of them. FedEx and UPS actually both meet the criteria for looking for new swing trades right now with some room to go. Caterpillar, a stock that I haven't called out in a while. We actually looked at this as a potential swing trade yesterday where it closed strong, broke out of an inside day and is about to clear some levels as long as it stays above 140, which it looks like it's going to, and then looking for a run at 150. So a $10 profit target here. But what's interesting here is inside day breakout. We also have an inside week breakout with a possible run to 150. So a couple of different things lining up here. We actually did have somebody call out a trade yesterday that was a new all-time high that pulled back and didn't make money, and he was asking what he did wrong. And quite honestly, this is a good trade idea, similar to the one that he took. If it doesn't make money, that doesn't make it a bad idea. It just makes it a trade that didn't follow through. So really, as a trader, you really need to make that distinction. HCA meets the criteria as well. What I really like about this is bullish gaps through a clear resistance level, continued, paused, had another good day, and we also have some room to go there as well. And the last two we're going to get to here is OSTK continues to be a bullish trade for us, and really not an expensive stock either. A lot of people can get involved in that one. And actually one that's even less expensive, which is PENN. And you can see we've actually had this resistance in PENN here for a while. I actively trade this stock pretty much every day for a $30 stock. It has some really, really good percentage moves. The problem is it's not always in play. When it's not in play, you get stuck in these indecision type days. And you can see it keeps failing above this level, which is basically right around 34. We finally produced an inside day trend day. And again, you're starting to see a consistency to the ideas that we're calling out. This is a part of reading order flow, reading the tape and setting up those good ideas. You set them up and you have your levels to trade around and the type of day you're heading into. This set up this trend day. I still like it long, but don't get caught on the stock, because when this stock fails, it fails hard. It can pull back pretty quickly. So force it to be above yesterday's close. And if you're looking to initiate a swing trade, unfortunately at this point, you have to risk down to 34. So that's a $3 risk. I'm not really sure that's worth it on a new swing trade at this particular moment, because that means you'd have to expect $9 in the other direction. And I don't see where that's going to happen, especially in the current market right now with all the indecision. And especially this stock is heavily influenced by the reopening of the country. So day trading the stock as long as it meets our minimum criteria. And the last one we're going to mention today is PayPal, which actually had good earnings and is trading higher. So obviously you have to keep an eye on a stock that's trading at or near all-time highs. So man, we got a lot to discuss today, a lot to look forward to trading today. And absolutely, if you have some time tonight, click down and join us tonight in the live training at 7 o'clock. Hope to see you there, and have an awesome day. Be disciplined and be excited. This is the day you want to be excited to be a trader. There's going to be action, volatility today. There's a ton of news today. Big earnings after the close today. We're going to have a lot to do tomorrow too, so buckle up and let's have an awesome day.